current educational documentary is prepared to pay a tribute to the victims of recent Palghar mob lynching case. The documentary only aims to educate masses on mob lynching. It is requested to the viewers to not forward the link of the documentary on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, or any social handle, as it is intended towards a tribute and not for a publicity's sake. The documentary does not contribute to any religion, political, communal, law enforcement attribute of the society. It is purely an education based information on the said topic. It is based on research and findings of the researchers who refrain from any blame, stigma, sentiments to any section of the society. The documentary makers shall not be liable in any manner to any person for any mistake or error, if any, in this work, or for any action taken or omitted to be taken, or advice rendered or accepted on the basis of this work. यह वर्तमान शैक्षणिक डॉक्यूमेंट्री पालघर की भीड़ के शिकार लोगों को श्रद्धांजलि देने के लिए बनाई गई है। यह डॉक्यूमेंट्री का उद्देश्य केवल लोगों को मॉब लिंचिंग पर शिक्षित करना है। दर्शकों से अनुरोध है कि वे फेसबुक, इंस्टाग्राम, ट्विटर, व्हाट्सएप या किसी भी सोशल मीडिया हैंडल पर डॉक्यूमेंट्री की लिंक को फॉरवर्ड न करें, क्योंकि यह एक श्रद्धांजलि की ओर लक्षित है, न कि प्रचार के लिए। प्रस्तुत दस्तावेज समाज के किसी भी धर्म, राजनैतिक समुदाय और कानून प्रवर्तन विशेषता में योगदान नहीं दे रहा है। यह विशुद्ध रूप से शिक्षा आधारित जानकारी है। यह शोधकर्ताओं के शोध और निष्कर्षों पर आधारित है, जो समाज के किसी भी वर्ग, किसी भी कलंक और भावनाओं से संबंधित नहीं है। डॉक्यूमेंट्री बनाने वाले कोई भी व्यक्ति किसी भी गलत कृति के लिए अथवा डॉक्यूमेंट्री के आधार पर स्वीकार किए गए तथा मान्य किए हुए सलाहों के संबंधी किसी भी प्रकार की उत्तरदायित्व नहीं ले रहे हैं। प्रस्तुत शैक्षणिक माहितीपट हे अलीकडील पालघर मॉब लिंचिंग प्रकरणातील पीडितांना श्रद्धांजली अर्पण करण्याकरिता तयार केलेले आहे। निर्मात्यांचा यातून केवळ जमावाला लिंचिंगबाबत शिक्षित करण्याचा हेतू आहे। तसेच माहितीपट बनवण्यामागे कोणत्याही प्रकारच्या प्रसिद्धीचा हेतू नसून केवळ श्रद्धांजली अर्पण करण्याबाबत असल्यामुळे आपणास ही नम्र विनंती की फेसबुक, ट्विटर, इंस्टाग्राम, व्हॉट्सॲप व इतर कोणत्याही सोशल हँडलद्वारे याची लिंक पुढे पाठवू नये। सदर माहितीपट समाजातील कोणत्याही धर्म, राजकीय, सांप्रदायिक व कुठल्याही कायद्याची अंमलबजावणी करण्यासाठी योगदान देत नाही व संपूर्णपणे शैक्षणिक दृष्टिकोनातून या विषयावरील माहितीवर आधारित आहे। दाखविण्यात आलेले प्रत्येक माहिती ही समाजातील कोणत्याही प्रकारचा द्वेष, कलंक, दोष किंवा भावनांना टाळून संशोधन करणाऱ्या संशोधकांच्या निष्कर्षावर आधारित आहे। तरीही या कार्यातील कोणत्याही प्रकारच्या चुकीकरिता किंवा चुकून घडलेल्या कृतीकरिता अथवा या आधारे स्वीकारलेल्या व मान्य केलेल्या सल्ल्याबद्दल कोणत्याही प्रकारे निर्मात्यांना जबाबदार ठरवू नये। When a large group of people target an action of violence against a human or property, both public or private, on the basis of some rumor, suspicion or misquoted information, falls under the category of mob lynching. Violence undertaken by a mob is a kind of obnoxious slur leading to a heightened sense of feelings of insecurity. Therefore, lynching or mob violence is a form of violence in which a mob, under the pretext of administering justice without trial, executes a presumed offender, often after inflicting torture and corporal mutilation. Both the terms mob and lynching are derived from the name of Charles Lynch, a Virginia planter and justice of the peace who during the American Revolution headed an irregular court formed to punish the loyalists. In the current documentary, the researchers acquaint its viewers with reasons why mob lynching takes place, the Dimapur case study, impact of mob lynching, legal aspects and preventive measures.
The very first reason we all can assume is social media. We all know how much the platform of social media has been misused. This misuse has led to many mob lynchings. But what in social media encourages these kinds of actions? They are the fake messages, unnecessary trolling, and provocative messages. these messages may hurt the sentiments of people. The fake messages spread like a fire and an inhuman action takes place. But why do these fake messages provokes a mob lynching? Because there is no awareness about the misuse of social media and no correct information regarding that message or situation. People assume these messages and rumors are true and hence take their own actions. The incidents of mob violence are sparked by rumors. Due to this, whenever any rumors that are passed, people take it seriously and take the law and orders in their own hands and kill any innocent. It is truly said that words are more dangerous than the direct hurt. Hate speech is one of the most burning issues of recent time, and its connectivity with mob lynching has made it a most dangerous way of speech as it has caused loss of many lives. Therefore, it is clear that not only laws but also our values and ethics say that we should not express a thing which can cause troubles not only for others but also for us. What are the psychological aspects of the mobs in the mob lynching? There are some theories explained by a psychologist. Theory of crowd psychology by Lee Bon. He stated that individuals, when they become a part of the crowd, lose their personal identity and merge into the crowd, whereby the group mentality forms a single human being. Lee Bon also states that when people come together in a collection, they tend to seek a leader to guide their behavior and follow their orders. Hence, violent crowd is a result of like-minded violent people.
On 5th March 2015, a mob of about 7,000 to 8,000 people broke into a jail in the city of Dimapur in the northeastern state of Nagaland. Easily overcoming the police officers guarding the jail gates, they dragged out a 35-year-old rape-accused Syed Farid Khan, paraded him naked for over 7 kilometers and beaten him to death along the way. The mob did not stop there and displayed the man's badly bruised body at the local clock tower. The police claimed that they tried to rescue him but were overwhelmed by the mob. By the time more forces came in, the accused was dead. Some say that the incident took place due to the widespread public anger over rising sexual violence against women in India. The government of Nagaland had a different opinion over the case. By then, though, Syed Farid Khan was already a victim of the simmering mob lynching taking place in India. Since 2015, 36 cases of mob lynching due to communal issues, 44 cases of mob lynching of cow vigilante related violence, and 12 cases of mob lynching due to suspicion of child kidnappers were seen. A total of 219 people were the victims of mob lynching since 2015, where 113 were killed and 106 were assaulted. Multiple cases of mob lynching have been registered in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh. Several cases have also been registered in the South Indian states of Karnataka, Telangana, and Kerala. In other words, mob lynching has almost become a national phenomenon.
Here are some impacts of mob lynching on the people, society, and in overall. First of all, to produce such lynching, one has to mount propaganda of rumors or instigate the false news, and such continuous propaganda builds up feelings against the innocents, the non-sufferers, as like pus in an infected wound. And for such preparations, people's beliefs, emotions, social background, social medias, stones, rods, ropes get misused, which further leads to the major damage of the mindset of society, destruction of property, etc. While such lynching, hated speeches get used which stigmatize other public and might hurt their feelings, which converts them into the violent crowd, where on the other hand it affects so badly on some people's mind, and after facing such lynchings they completely start feeling insecure even from presenting their reviews and opinions, in spite of knowing that their points are in the correct way, and get scared cause of being demoralized by such violent behavior of the crowd. And this is where, instead of holding powers to cool down these lynchings, such mobs get more promoted and doesn't allow the public to think in the directions that the news rumored is even real or fake, has either happened or not, which leads to the infliction of the innocents, making them adversely anxious. And also, if the intensity of such rumors get on high levels, it starts converting them into the members of mob lynch, where also their properties get targeted. Such situations even create panic and terrorize environment, which somehow restrain the growth and development of the society, and also disturbs the mental health of the people, where some might suffer from fear, threats, and they start feeling insecure, which creates a kind of negative nature within the people and society. When an innocent, just because of a rumor around, face difficulties, gets abused by the mob, puts an impact on other individuals, where they get stumbled with the question of how to actually react in such situations, and also if any person is sensitive enough, then it doesn't take a moment to adversely affect on their mind, which make them uncomfortable and could also create different phobias around them. There are many such different types of offense which take place in our society, for which many a times it so happens that the mob makes misuse of the jurisdiction by taking law in their own hands, because of which it becomes difficult for the administration to handle over the crowd and unnecessarily creates difficulty for the non-guilty public, where they get aggressive, feel sleepless, loss of their freedom power, and gets stressed out. Our younger generation is more adaptive towards the observational learning, where media has its greater influence over them. Due to this, they are more prone towards the mob lynch, and their interest reach on higher levels to get inculcated in such crowds, which also affects their behavior, making them more violent and aggressive. Also, this negatively impacts on the well-being of this generation in such a way that, due to the known knowledge about the judiciary aspects and continuous observation of no proper actions undertaken, molds them towards losing faith in institutions like law enforcement due to such loopholes in it. Major impacts are seen over the police personnel and other such officers, as this mob lynch occur without of any intimation. Great force is put over the officers with the questions of how to actually manage and deal with such crowds. Also, they get under pressure of being liable to be imprisoned for a term if they fail to prevent such crimes. But after noticing such destructive impacts, there is yet something positive to come out of all the situations. People with proper knowledge and who actually believe in investigation of such cases and are firmly ready to stand against this, they support the jurisdiction, cooperate the officers, stays away from rumoring the fake news and making others aware of doing the same, set an example for people getting demoralized due to such negative impacts to better help the administration to put the control over such cases and give out positive messages around the society and help in stopping such lynching from occurring in future.
Mobocracy cannot coexist with democracy. Mob lynching occurs when people, due to unawareness of legal provisions, try to take the task of delivering justice in their hands. We have no specific codified law or provision for mob lynching, despite the prevalence of mob lynching for centuries. Article 14 of the Indian Constitution guarantees equality before law and equal protection by the law, whereas Article 21 provides the guarantee of life and liberty to every citizen. But there is no doubt that lynching activities violate Article 14 and Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. Law has never permitted any citizen to take the legal proceedings in their hands. We know that in Tehseen Poonawala's petition, the Supreme Court had observed that mob lynching is a crime, whatever the motive. It had also directed to investigate the matter after filing an FIR under Section 153B and other appropriate sections of the IPC. Supreme Court in 2018 laid down guidelines for the central and state government to frame laws specifically to deal with crimes of mob lynching. In pursuance to this, Manipur, followed by Rajasthan and West Bengal, are the only states that have passed bills on action to be taken against those involved in lynchings. The Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 under subsection A of section 223 provides that the mob involved in same offence in the same act can be tried together. Incidents of mob lynching are mostly episodes of hate and violence. In legal proceedings, the sections in Indian Penal Code against an individual, such as Section 302, punishment for murder, Section 304, punishment for culpable homicide not amounting to murder, Section 307, attempt to murder, Section 323, punishment for causing hurt voluntarily, Section 325, punishment for causing grievous hurt voluntarily, Section 34, acts done by several persons in furtherance of common intention, Section 120B, punishment for parties participating in criminal conspiracy, Section 141, unlawful assembly, and Section 143, punishment for unlawful assembly, etc., are applied in majority of the cases. We can see that Section 153B, imputation, assertions prejudicial to national integration, and 505, statements conducing to public mischief, were not imposed.
In pursuance to the Honorable Supreme Court's directions, the governments of Manipur, Rajasthan, and West Bengal have acted swiftly, and these state legislatures have passed their independent, separate enactments to tackle and control the menace of mob lynching. The issue then boils down to a question: was the law a mute spectator to what was happening around till date? The answer is certainly not. The Indian Penal Code happens to be the oldest legislation for sentencing crimes in India. The Indian Penal Code was enacted in the year 1860. It has since stood the test of time. There is a concept of joint liability under the Indian Penal Code. Section 34 of the Indian Penal Code speaks of the concept of common intention. It says that when a criminal act is done by several persons in furtherance of the common intention of all, each of such persons is liable for that act in the same manner as if it were done by him alone. There's another chapter, chapter 8, titled Offences against Public Tranquility. Chapter 8 runs from section 141 to section 160. Section 141 defines unlawful assembly. An assembly of 5 or more persons is designated an unlawful assembly if the common object of the persons composing that assembly is, and then the law sets down some 5 objectives, either of which, if is pursued by the assembly, renders each one of them equally liable for the acts of any single person. The punishment prescribed for being a member of unlawful assembly is 6 months of imprisonment. Then there is section 149, which fastens the liability equally on all of such persons who are a party to the unlawful assembly. All hate crimes can be penalized under the Indian Penal Code under section 153 capital A. Section 295 capital A of the Indian Penal Code punishes deliberate and malicious acts intended to outrage religious feelings or when anybody insults any religion or religious beliefs. So far as rumors are concerned, Section 505 of IPC punishes those spreading rumors with an imprisonment of up to 3 years. Section 5 of the Indian Telegraph Act 1885 empowers the government to take possession of licensed telegraphs and to order interception of messages. Beyond this, Senior Advocate, Member of Rajya Sabha, Shri K.T.S. Tulsi has come up with an independent legislation titled the Anti-Lynching Bill 2017. The bill was tabled before the Rajya Sabha but is yet to be processed. The bill consists of 9 chapters and 31 sections. Section 7 of the bill proposes for punishment up to 7 years, 10 years and life imprisonment for causing hurt, grievous hurt and death respectively. While the law that awaits enactment will take its own course, we as responsible citizens need to ensure as to how do we create an atmosphere of mutual trust and harmony. We need to explore ways to train and enlighten people about the ill effects of the abuse of social media and the rumblings it causes in an otherwise peaceful society.
Every individual could make sure that they do not forward messages on social media without proper knowledge of its authenticity and source. One should not believe in any rumors and take the law in their hands. In case of any suspicious activity, it should be reported to the police immediately. Currently, there is no law against lynching. However, some sections of the Indian Penal Code, such as Section 302, Section 307, Section 223 of the Criminal Procedure Code, and Section 114 of the Indian Evidence Act are adjusted for this matter. The Manipur government came up with its first bill in 2018 against mob lynching. The bill specified that there would be a nodal officer in every district to control such crimes. Any officer who fails to prevent the crime of lynching under their jurisdiction are liable to be imprisoned for a term that may extend from 1 to 3 years with a fine limit of Rs 50,000. Following Manipur, the Rajasthan government also passed a similar bill in August 2019. Later, West Bengal came up with a more stringent bill against lynching. It mentioned that the punishment for lynching to death is punishable with death penalty or life imprisonment and fine up to Rs 5 lakh. The central government could also incorporate sections in law for penal action against doctors who delay attending to victims of lynching or submit a false report without carrying out a thorough medical examination of the victim, either due to constraint by the police or because of their own prejudice against a particular community. Also, the amount to be paid to the victim under the compensation scheme should be recovered from the perpetrators. Just like the action taken by the Manipur government against its officers accused of negligence of duty, the central law too could replicate it, as it would deter the police officers from favoring the lynch mob.
On a concluding note, whether you are a literate or an illiterate, you are condemned to be a responsible human being and a citizen. Participation in any group or group activities should necessarily go with fulfillment of a positive and productive outcome. We live with high-end technology in today's times. Ensuring the authenticity of information reaching you through social platforms is a prerequisite. Mob lynching is a category of offense arising due to advent of technology. The Indian Penal Code, operational since 1860, doesn't spell out a separate offense or a crime under the title mob lynching. It simply fixes a liability on a group consisting of 5 persons, holding each one of them equally responsible for an act committed by either person of the group. One must ensure that their personal safety is a mandatory requirement before stepping out of their homes, no matter the cause they need to attend to. Personal safety is the prime responsibility of each of us.
Neither take law in your hands nor be a part of disobeying it by participating in mob lynching.
Justice must be served in courts and not on roads.
Instead of focusing the majority, let's find the truth behind the mob story.
Mob lynching is a social evil. Let's put a stop to it.
We shall defend humanity till the very end.
Why do we always need laws to regulate ourselves and to discipline ourselves? Let us first resolve to educate ourselves and to become more responsible citizens and more responsible netizens.
Our actions should enlighten life rather than cause any struggle and pain to anyone in the society.